Namaskaram, my dear friends, I'm back again. It's been a while, but now I'm back and I appreciate you guys for staying with me. Today I want to share with you some events that had happened in my life because they're significant. Not necessarily like big achievements in the physical world, but achievements because, I tend to understand more and experience more what it means to be in Sadhguru's grace. So I'll give you guys a little update. I finally have a home. Well, I have a home. This is a second home for me because I needed to get another home for us that is close to where I live. So over the weekends, I go home to my family, and during the weekdays, I stay here for work. And no matter where I go, I need to make the home feel homely and, of course, establish my puja space. And I have been really preoccupied with that the last few days and just making sure everything is functioning. So that's where a lot of the stories come in because a lot of the things are not functioning. But before we go to that part of the story, have you guys came across of Sadhguru's video, what he calls Sadhguru percentage? I saw a short version of probably a long video of Sadhguru's discourses, but he was telling us what's his role in our lives, percentage-wise, that if we come to him and want to change our health, to improve our mental situation, then his role is like from 10 to 25% max. And if we go to him with the intent to transform and really strive, his role is from 40 to 50%. But if we go to him with absolute devotion, not wanting anything, no likes, no dislikes, we don't care if we go to hell, heaven, attain mukti, moksha, or whatever. It doesn't matter. We just go to him in complete devotion with no expectations. His role in our lives will be from 90 to 100%. And I never really grasped this. I don't understand what it means. But all I know is I really want to be in Sadhguru's grace and what I feel to be in Sadhguru's grace. So I have stories to tell you during the whole process of acquiring the house and fixing the house. Because the situations I've actually felt the Guru's grace. It may be small or not grand in the scale of things, but despite the ordinariness of a situation, our Guru comes. So, I have a water filtration system that I bought. It's a reverse osmosis system. It's a little bit complicated because there's a lot of tubes. And I have shared this with you all in my past short, but I just want to do a recap that I have been having a hard time installing the systems. There were so many links, so many screws, just a lot of tubing, disconnection, connection, and then it was bound to leak. And it did leak. Like one of the tube connection, I had to screw onto like the main pipe of the water source and that strip. So I couldn't get a seal and it kept leaking. And I was so frustrated at that moment that I tried more than 20 times and it still didn't work. And I asked for Sadhguru's grace. I asked for Shiva's grace. I asked for Krishna's grace. I asked for Devi's grace to help me to just seal it because I just wanted sealed at that moment because I wanted to go home to my daughter. And so when I asked for their grace at that moment, it stopped leaking. It really stopped leaking. So I was able to go home to my daughter, spend the weekend with her, and come back to the new home, Sunday night. And to check, wow, everything's intact, nothing was leaking. And I ran the system to make sure it was working well, etc. And it was. And that night, it's so funny because the morning I heard a lot of drip. And I checked under the sink. Oh my God, it was like a flood. And it was so funny to me because there was another connection that was not, I think, screwed on tight, or it just was not lined well, where there was a gap and it had to leak. It didn't leak when I left, but it leaked when I came back and actually did something with it. I think it could have been that I didn't run the system as much as I did when I came back, or Divine Grace just came and made sure everything was okay until I was back to handle the situation. Whichever way it is, I'm okay with it because I was able to handle the situation. But in that moment, there were so many things I couldn't control. But everything lined up for me to be able to handle it when I could. So that was my reverse osmosis water filtration system story. It's a long title. I have another story. So the faucet in my bathroom does not turn on and off really well. Like, it's really hard, and if I turn it off, I have to push it really hard for it to stop flowing. So I looked on Google how to fix it and figure out how to fix it. So yes. So I bought the hardware from the hardware store. But when I was there, I realized I needed to be home at 7, and it was like 6:30 then. I needed to be home at 7 because I have an appointment with someone to come over because they were gonna test water. They were gonna test the water quality in my faucet and test the water quality in my RO system. And it was 6:30, so I rushed, I got the hardware, a new faucet basically, and then came home. And then so I met the person that was going to test the water right outside my house because I think I arrived 9 minutes late. 9 minutes past 7. So I let him in, and then he was setting up to do the test, and while I was waiting and he was setting up, I actually went to the faucet and tried to figure it out. And I realized I couldn't unscrew the plastic things that held the faucet in place because through the years it corroded, so it won't twist anymore. And so I had to go look and search in Google how to remove it. You need to have a drill. The easiest way is to have a drill. Just drill through the plastic so it breaks and you can unscrew it. But I didn't have a drill. But anyways, so the person who was testing the water said he was ready. His testing kit was already set, so I was there to participate. And I thought the testing was from the government, from the county, to see if the water quality was good. And through the process, I realized this person was trying to sell me something. He was trying to sell me a water conditioner system, like a water softener system. And he was telling me all the chlorine content, all the sediments in my water, all this, all that, so many things. Colors changing from clear to yellow, from blue to red, cloudiness. It was very scientific. But basically, he was convincing me that my water was really bad, very chlorinated, so much sediments that I had to get a water softener. And it was expensive! And mind you guys, this was late at night. This was like 7. The test went on for an hour, so it was like 8. And he was a really nice guy. He was a wonderful person. And I think it was really his job to sell me the product. And he said, I couldn't decide right now. I need to consult with Grant. And then he understood the fact that I needed to consult with someone before I make a decision. It was expensive. He wanted me to sign up for it, for installation that moment. And it was expensive. I couldn't make the decision. So he was very understanding. And I think there's a lot of pressure from his boss to make the sale. So he kind of talked to his boss and told me that I could talk to his boss that if I really want the offer, which is a discounted offer, if they could extend that offer the next day, because basically the catch is they do the test, they'll give you a very, very great offer, and you have to sign up at that moment. And then the offer was gonna expire the moment he left, and I couldn't make the decision. So he said, okay, I'll hold the offer for you if my boss says yes. So he asked me to talk to his boss, and that's where I sense, okay, a lot of this pressure is from the boss. Pressure towards the person testing to make the sale. So I'm like, And when I told the person that I couldn't make decision right then and there, he was very understanding. And he saw me like trying to figure out my faucet. Everything was still in disarray. And he saw me trying to sort things out. And he was graceful enough to help me and offer his help. He said, is there something I can help you with? And this was late. This was past 8 p.m. And then I said, oh, sir, if you have a drill I could use, that would be really great. And he asked me, oh, what bit size do I need? And then I said, okay, I'll pick this bit size. And then he lent me his drill. So I was drilling in the bathroom while he was putting his stuff away. And this kind of took a while because it was a little bit of a complicated process, really tight space, and I was able to drill the screws off, and it was a success story. So basically, I was so thankful he came. I was thankful he came because without him, I wouldn't have been able to install my faucet. And because he was so gracious enough to lend me his drill, and it was late at night, and I offered him some money for food for the night. And he was also really touched by this gesture because he didn't perform any service. He was trying to sell me something. Yet he was offered the chance to get a meal for the night. And that was powerful for me because I felt like so many things aligned. I only had enough time to go to the hardware store to get the faucet. I came home, I met a wonderful person who was instrumental for me to get a drill and fix my faucet. And the least I could do was offer him a meal. And for me, I really thought that was also grace lining up. Grace coming in. Because not a lot of people know this, but when I start something, I really need to finish it. Or else my mind will bother me, not unless I finish it. And I think Sadhguru knows that. So I think Sadhguru somehow made sure that I was able to acquire a drill that night and fix my faucet through him. So yes, that's my story. A supplemental story. Here we go. I think I have shared with you all in the past that I'm really, really tight with money. Like, there's a lot of sense of insecurity in me where I really have to manage money really well. I can't let go. I can't give money as easily. And I have opened this up. I have asked for grace for me to be able to figure this out because I think it's an obstacle for me to go further. And so I told myself, I will try to make strides to, do something about it. So I've devised a plan to do this. I should start tipping people more generously and have a giving heart while doing it. And I think, it seemed easier than how it was before without asking for the grace to help me do it. The past few days, there were 2 guys who came to the house to do the floors. And they did it really well. They did it really fast. They removed the carpet, they removed the existing floor planks, and replaced it with all floor planks all throughout. They estimated to do the job in 2 days, but they did it in 1. I think because I didn't have furniture at all, so they didn't have to move anything. So they did that. And before they left, I gave both of them separate tips. It's wonderful to see people when they receive tips. They're very, very thankful. They're very, very grateful. And I get to see that in their face. And what's so funny, when they left, they left a battery pack that fits my tool. And it's probably the same amount of money that I gave them in terms of tip. They haven't called me to retrieve it back. I don't even know their number, so we'll figure it out. I think it's going to stay here temporarily, but a longer period of time, that battery pack. It's just so funny, the flow of events, the exchange of situations just seems coincidence, almost. And then let's go back to the person who tested the water. When I gave him money for dinner, he gave me a gift card for the same amount. And he didn't just give me a gift card. It was not something that he decided to do after I gave him. It was more so like part of the testing. If your water's tested, you get a gift card. And I just realized it was also like an exchange of blessing, I would say. I don't know. Okay, see, here's the thing. A lot of this situation, it's just me talking, me saying. But I think I'm sharing this with you all because in these ordinary moments, I feel Sadhguru's grace. I feel him deciding for me in situations I couldn't decide or I don't know what to do. If I was like a water flowing and I don't know where to go or where to be at, he's like the pipe, the hose that would lead me where I need to go. Just the hose example is because of all the water situation that's happening in the house right now. And what I've realized when Sadhguru said his percentage, his involvement in our lives is really dependent on what we want. Because if we're living our life still with likes and dislikes, it's like only allowing some to flow. Having likes and dislikes, it's only allowing some grace to flow. Only allowing those grace that fits the limits, the boundaries of your likes and dislikes. But if we live this life with nothing, with no assumptions, no expectations, just no barriers, no limit, that's when we can actually feel his grace totally. And I draw that conclusion from my experience. And it settles me somehow because, I don't need to think a lot. When I need to make a decision, then I just make it. But in moments of difficult decisions and not knowing what to do next, then I just let the Guru's grace guide me through. Namaskaram. I know that was a very unorganized story, but I just wanted to share it with you all, knowing a lot of you can relate. The miracles, the magic of the Guru's grace. Namaskaram. So yes, until next time you guys, I can't wait to show you guys next time of how I have transformed this place, centered around the establishing of a puja space and just allowing to live life more wonderfully and joyfully in our Guru's grace. So yes, until next time, bye.